and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jody, and on my channel I talk about Broadway and books. And in today's video, I will be giving a spoiler-free review for my latest book read. So first I'll talk a bit on what the book I read is about, then some general information on the book, then my thoughts, and then my star rating. So without any further ado, let's get on to today's spoiler-free book review. And that would be for the book Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith. So Windfall centers around the character of Alice, who is an 18-year-old high school senior living in Chicago with her aunt, uncle, and cousin Leo. Alice's very best friend in the whole entire world is Teddy, whom she secretly happens to be in love with. And it's Teddy's birthday, he's turning 18. And so Alice thinks it'd be a fun, kind of like joke, kind of like gift to get Teddy a lottery ticket for his birthday. And so she does just that. Then, as luck would have it, it turns out that the ticket that Alice bought Teddy for his birthday turns out to be the winning lottery ticket. And so that's basically the gist of the premise for what Windfall is about. And really, after the last thing I mentioned is where the story begins to pick up. And because I'm making this spoiler free, I will just leave the overview there. As far as the general information on the book goes, the genre is young adult fiction / romance. The amount of pages is 416. The timeline is present day, and the point of view is we have to hear from one point of view in the story, which is from our main character of Alice. So now, as far as my thoughts on this book go, I liked it. I wouldn't say though that I really liked it, or that it's a new favorite of mine, or that's the best book I've ever read. But you know, I enjoyed my time reading it, and I'm glad I did finally get around to reading it, as it is a book that I've had for over a year now. So now, first, I'll start off with talking about the positive things I have to say about this book. The first being that this is the first book by Jennifer E. Smith that I've read so far, and I have to say I really quite like her writing. She really has a great way of writing a story that keeps you interested and wanting to know where it's going to go. And another thing I liked about the writing is that there were so many lines throughout the book that were quite beautifully poetic, whether it was describing how someone was feeling and their emotions, or even just the weather. These lines just caught me so by surprise, and they were just so unexpected, and they really grabbed my attention, and they, like I said, they were quite beautiful. Another thing I liked about this book was how the author wrote about friends and family, and how they can be such a support system for someone when they're going through a difficult time, whether it's having someone by your side or just having someone to talk to. I really appreciated this aspect of the story because it really emphasized how important it is to have that support system in one's life and how special it is. Now for the not so positive things I have to say about this book. The first being the characters. I just, at the end of the day, did not care for any of the characters at all, unfortunately. I just found there to be no character development in this story. As well as, to me, the characters felt very one-dimensional and basic, as well as being written on a very surface-based kind of level. And because of that, I found it just very difficult to be able to connect to, or like I said, really care about these characters at all, unfortunately. Another thing that I didn't really think worked in this book was the romance storyline, particularly between that of our main character of Alice and Teddy. And before I continue talking about this storyline, just want to emphasize that this is not a spoiler by any means. Like I said in the overview, Alice is secretly in love with Teddy, and we find this out very early on within the book. Just wanted to point that out, not a spoiler. But yeah, I just didn't think the storyline worked, primarily because I just didn't feel like the two characters had any chemistry with one another whatsoever at all. And despite, Alice continuing to say page after page, chapter after chapter, how so very in love with Teddy she is, I just never really felt the passion behind those words. And because of that, I just found the storyline to just be not very believable and found it just not to work. And so those are my thoughts. Now, as far as my star rating goes, I gave this 3.5 stars. Like I said, I liked it. I enjoyed my time reading it. It was a very easy book to get through. And, even though I wouldn't consider this book a favorite of mine, I still encourage you to check out this book and read it if the story sounds interesting to you, because it could become a new favorite book for you. So before I end this video, I always like to point out whenever I talk about a book, whether it's going to be adapted or it has been adapted, just like point that out in case I come across finding that out. And in 2017, when this book was first released, it was announced that this book was picked up to become a film. Lauren Graham from Gilmore Girls was even set to write the screenplay. I don't know if this adaptation is still happening or not, as I have not heard anything about, this being adapted since that announcement in 2017. But, who knows, maybe one day. I honestly think this might work better as a film than a book. So, this could happen one day, this film adaptation. But I just thought I'd let you know about it in the meantime. So that's going to be it for today's spoiler-free book review on Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith. And yeah, hope I help you discover a new book today. And thank you so very much for watching. And until next time, bye.